It's Tuesday, March 31st, 2026, and we just had a huge update to our multi-day severe weather event, so let's get into it. Starting with today, we have a slight less risk level 2 out of 5 in place for areas like Enid, Fairview, Sayre, and Alta. So basically going to central Oklahoma, but mostly for southwestern Oklahoma. Now today, we really aren't expecting any tornadoes. But we are expecting some damaging winds. We have a 15% risk of damaging winds that includes basically the same areas as that slight risks of going from Enid down into Altus. We could see some winds up to 70 miles an hour. And basically same thing for our hail risk. Yeah, it literally didn't move at all. So let's get into what the storms will look like. Before we get into this, I just want to say that this isn't going to be identical to what happens, but it's going to give us a really big clue on what it's going to look like. So, at 5 p.m., the storm they're going to be forming, there's going to be separate little storms forming on the Oklahoma and Texas border. Then they're going to kind of form together to the north, right over Elk City. That's going to be a pretty strong storm. And that's where it's because of squall line, because all these little additional storms popped up and attached to each other. So now we have a pretty decent squall line. I mean, this is a squall line itself, but it gets worse. So all those storms down there in Texas, they connect with the Oklahoma storms, giving us a squall line almost extending from Ponca City all the way down into Childress. And then should hit Oklahoma City around 10, 11 o'clock. And thankfully, these storms are going to start breaking off after they hit Oklahoma City. They're going to keep going into the night, but I don't see these surviving early into the 2 a.m. hour. Let's go to our next risk. Tomorrow is our most concerning day we can see so far because we have a enhanced risk level 3 out of 5 in place for towns like Enid, Altus, Lawton, Fairview, and Alva. And we do have a pretty decent tornado threat, I believe, with this. Yeah, we do. We have a 5% hatched probability of tornadoes. That includes Enid, Stillwater, Tulsa, Bartlesville, Oklahoma City, Norman, Lawton, and Altus. If we have tornadoes tomorrow, I very well think we will. And it's probably going to be in this brown area. And you notice there is a hatch on it as well. That means that within that 5%, there's also a 5% chance that a strong EF2 or higher tornado happens. If you don't know, that's what a hatching means. And even around it, there's still more hatchings in that 2% area. So that includes Muskogee going all the way back into Woodward. Even out of that 5%, we could get an EF2 or more tornado. And next we have our wind outlook. I believe this is one of our most concerning risks. We have a 30% hatched chance of damaging winds that includes Enid, Lawton, Altus, Fairview, and Alva. And you notice it's hatched. That means that we could have winds up to 80 miles an hour or higher. So all of these. So I feel like tomorrow's going to be a very big day in damaging winds. And then we have our hail outlook. It's also 30% hatched, and it kind of trims it. Unlike the wind outlook, it looks like it's only for areas like Fairview, Enid, and Alva, and Altus. You also have a 30% hatched chance of hail, so hail up to baseball size possible tomorrow. So let's get into what we can see with the storms. Alright, so storms are going to be knocking on the Oklahoma Panhandle around 2 p.m. It's going to be a broken squall line, but it's going to stay like that. And then another line forms in front of it. It's also going to be broken apart, and it's going to be That's gonna be around 5 p.m. and it's just gonna keep growing. But you notice even behind that, there's another squall line of less heavier rain and stuff that goes through the Panhandle. So the Panhandle will realistically get hit 3 times. But then look how much this grows. That's a squall line going from the Texas border into the Kansas border, covering all of Oklahoma. And it's going to go into well overnight. Thankfully, once it's about to hit Oklahoma around 10 p.m., it's going to be starting to break apart, so Oklahoma shouldn't get the full squall line effect. Oh no, don't tell me it's doing this again. Okay. And after it hits Oklahoma City, it should be miserably breaking apart. Now, don't get me wrong, just because it's breaking apart doesn't mean we're not going to get severe weather. That just means that there are going to be one big, extensive straight line wind event. Well, it's still going to go well into the overnight hours, but then look at this. It comes back together into another squall line at 3 in the morning. And that's when it's going to hit areas like Muskogee and McAllister. And then it should be out of us 7 a.m. Then we have nothing to worry about till Friday. We will have a slight risk of severe weather in place for Enid, Stillwater, and Bartlesville. We do not have much information about this quite yet, but let's still get into what we can see through the GFS model and stuff. Now this is the RRFSA model showing us a kind of look at storms are going to look like on Friday. It's always wrong and it overestimates all the time. But it shows that storms are going to form around 4 p.m. and look how fast they explode. I just don't believe we're going to have something like this, because we have something like this. We're going to have a big hail problem in areas like Enid, Ponca City, Oklahoma City, and Lawton. Let's go to the GFS model. Yeah, it shows that storms shouldn't realistically form. Actually, starting at 4 o'clock. And they're gonna already be strong, and then they're gonna form kind of looks like a big mess, and they should all be a mess, and they should be all over around 1 a.m. and then it should be out of our hairs around 10 a.m. Not really much information about that yet, but we'll keep eyes on this. That is all the information I have for you today. We probably will do a video tomorrow, but bye for now.